Welcome back to another live film with Shaman Truth Channel. Let's get into it, man. Comment number 28, Poetry in Motion. A stagger in a gathering, possessed by a pattern that be scattering. Over the Google, my vocals be traveling, unraveling my abdomen as line that's babbling, dramatics that are masculine. I grab the men, verbally badgering bros. I wish that Malin was back on video LP. I went against all odds and got it even. Steven proceeded, not believing everything I'm reading, but my mind, my brain was bleeding, eating me, feeding. And exercise, I didn't seek the best advice. It's like there's a lot of text lies I analyze, where I rest my eyes on chastise the best of guys with punchlines. Let's see when it's crunch time. For your mind, like one time, if poetry was blank, I'd be sunshine. Cause I live like the sun times. Confined, once mines, I done rhymes, I combine. I'm hyped like I'm unsigned. I diet, I'm swine. Common sense, aka common, is a case study on perseverance, persevering for perfection. Sometimes you can feel an MC's energy so clearly, so you can almost prognosticate his future work. This was the immediate feeling I had upon listening to comments for the first time. And next thing to I purchased the LPC, they cannot borrow a dollar. My first impression was he was sounding too gimmicky, like he was influenced by Dr. Face and Chris Cross, who were both blazing in '92. I also thought his voice made him seem like he was unsure of himself. The flow cadence delivery selections didn't help matters either. So he's whack, right? Not so fast. If you have a masterful seat here, you can hear what the MC is going for. You can also hear how production or the lack thereof can add to or take away from the MC. In this case, the production was not enhancing comments in essence. On a closer listen, you could hear two things clearly. First comment was an extremely clever, exceptional MC. Almost every song had a theme in some form of double entendre. Second, his voice and delivery. He was more like a jazz poet, not really a conventional MC. At this point in the game, I felt like comedy to find his voice. I remember feeling like the first album was a project he used to get in the door, but he had much more to offer. 2 years later, he proved me right. The album Resurrection was not only better, it was a quantum leap. His voice was clear, his lyrics was defined and became signature. His concepts were heightened, his lyrics upgraded. Suddenly, everybody in the lyrical meld understood what he was doing. Everything was crystallized under hip hop class I used to love her, where he compared his classic hip hop to a girl he used to love who was now being exploited. The record's genius, however, his more conventional lyrical skills was a showcase on the songs Resurrection, Watermelon, something I wrote, although some commercially successful then. Their first LP, as with all most LPs and CDs, received much more critical acclaim than commercial success. You also seem to hit a pattern of hitting commercial success on every other LP. The follow up, one day it will all make sense. Didn't catch on with Resurrection. It was, however, still critically acclaimed. 2000, true to form, Common brought us into the millennium with his most critically acclaimed, commercially successful LP of all, like War for Chocolate, was musically and politically pertinent. It was like the capstone of his work. It seemed to be the older version of the budding poet that could now be viewed as a emissary. In my opinion, Common is at his the best when he's speaking universally rather than myopically. He's the opposite of the quintessential MC. Common is actually more poetically inclined than lyrically inclined, yet he's still very lyrical. Let the truth be told, from young souls that become old, from days spent in the jungle, where must one go to find it? Time is real, we can't rewind it. Out of everybody I met who told the truth, time did. We find kids speaking cause, it's naturally in us, but the false prophets by telling us. We born sinners, vendors of hate, got me bowing my own mind state at a divine rate. I ain't in this divine great. See this truth in the eyes of the eye of my blank. If there's only one that they should, why should it defer? So constantly I seek it, wondering why I gotta drink a six pack, speak it, took the picture of the truth and tried to develop it. Had proof it was only recognized by the intelligent, took the negative and positive, because blank got to live. So I got to give more than I'm giving, because truth will never be heard in religion. After there's no world on the inside was hidden, it was the truth. This is an example of poetic excellence. When people ask me about the category of poetic value, sometimes I tell them I just go pick up It's Common's LPCD. It's actually the most poetic MC in the game today. His last LPC electric service wasn't my cup of tea. You understand that when you're an artist coming, you have to take chances. He seems to artistically want to move in so many directions, does not want to be pigeonholed. All true artists can relate. However, as I said in the opening of this book, I'm focused on the MC. In that regard, comedy is still at the top of his game. It's poetic, poignancy, lyrical substance is almost unmatched on the hip hop lyrical landscape today. He's been consistently doing this for close to a decade, and that makes him one of the greatest ones among MCs. Poetic prose, he makes the rhyme sound like a conversation. Strength, weakness, lyrical elision. Sometimes he gets on the roll and leaves out essential syllables, sounds important to the rhyme. Sounds like he's out of breath. I used to live, lover, watermelon, resurrection, favorite LP. For his originality for comment, 80. He came, he brought his own style to the equation on one hand. On the other hand, he seemed to be guided in the direction that was falling in line what was going on at the time. That's thanks to Chris Paul's, but he put his own spin to that. I used to love it, says it all, one of the most conceptual records ever. 95. 80, versatility coming will take some chances to do different things, type of things in music, but his voice is basically the same. His energy is basically the same. Number 80. You can tell that he has an extensive vocabulary, but it seems like he tries to keep it at a level where the audience can follow him. One of the more substantive C's in the game, rhyme with the purpose is what I call it. 80, Common's flow is very direct, straight, and in your face. It's a matter of conveying his messages, not a matter of being tricky and colorful with the flows, even though he can flow. He does a little more inflections than the average punch rapper, but not that much. 70 flavors. 85 comes an MC that loves the game, freestyles a part of it. And then warm-ups before the show. Sometimes he just freestyle. Well, 70 vocal presence. His voice is very light, some poses itself on better on the mellow tracks. 70 live performance. The only problem that happens with Common's live is that sometimes he performs with a lot of R&B acts. It seems like when you're a poet lyricist like he is, your show has to be packaged in some way for it to be appreciated. I've seen people take the wrong thing out the show. It's based on the packaging. He's poetry in motion. 95. 70. By your work. He seems to be successful, making an impact on every other album. Nonetheless, he's still consistent in the work that he does within the albums, even if they don't make a lot of noise. Industry impact 60. Strictly because Common does not get a lot of accolades from the industry, the nominations, platinum plaques, etc., but he perseveres in spite of that. Social impact, number 75. He winds up being the magnet in spite of whatever the business is. People know him more than they actually know his name, music, which is a testament to him making a social impact. Longevity gets 90. In the early 90s, he still came. He didn't have a real strong presence, but by the time I Used to Love Her, it was all over. Number 90, for lyrics. Common is definitely a lyricist. He knows how to spit. Quintessential MC uses his own style. 75, baby battle skills. Got a little early run-in with Ice Cube, but even though he did okay on the battle side, some of the very nice rhymes to me, it felt out of place. Like that's not what he doing. He did it because he could do it. He did it because he wanted to respond and was a little offended at. He was Common. That was a quick battle that didn't last, didn't make it, and he was retired. Like, he can do it if he has to, but it feels like Common to his MC would rather not waste his time in the battle zone. Total score 1,360. Average score 8. Right, so I'm done with this chapter about comment number 28. Be back at, let's see what time it is, 4 o'clock. Number 27. Till then, talk to you soon.